Growing up, whenever I got sick, my mom always used to make me chicken noodle soup. When my husband was growing up, whenever he got sick, his mom always used to make him congee. And if you don't know what congee is, you are not alone. I didn't know what congee was until I moved to Hong Kong. Congee is very common there. It's a staple. So I've been wanting to share this recipe with you all for a while, but to be honest, I felt a little bit intimidated. Being that it is not a recipe that I grew up eating, I didn't know if I could do it justice. But a lot of you have requested this video, so today I'm going to share my version. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Maddie from Let's Eat Plants, and I'm here to help you with your vegan meal prep. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. So my husband Q and I have a food budget that we try and stick to every month. I believe I've mentioned that before. And one really good way I've found to do that is to use up food that you already have sitting in the pantry or the freezer. So today I'm going to be making a mixed grain congee using our pantry staples. And actually, if you already have cooked rice in your fridge, I'm going to show you the most simple congee recipe where you can use up already cooked grains. So for those of you who like to batch cook your grains and you're looking for some new ways to use them up, you can turn them into congee very easily using this method. So make sure you stay till the end of the video if you want that version. And with that, let's get started. At its most basic, congee is literally just white rice and water. It's a kind of thick porridge that is made by cooking the rice long enough to break it down into a porridge consistency. As I mentioned, it's often eaten as a comfort food when you're sick and also commonly for breakfast, or as my husband likes to say, it's really an anytime food. Since we're making a mixed grain congee, we're going to use a couple other grains in addition to our white rice. Today I'm going to be using buckwheat, millet, white rice, and mung beans. I also like to add in some flavor enhancers. I personally always use ginger because I really like the flavor, and I also always use veggie broth instead of plain water. You can even add other flavor enhancers such as dried mushrooms if you wish, but as I mentioned, congee is pretty plain flavor-wise, so feel free to keep it simple. And we're going to be using the Instant Pot today to cook our congee, but you can also make this on the stovetop. It will take a little bit longer to cook, but it's a very hands-off type of cooking, so if you want, you can just start it an hour before dinner time and just let it simmer on the stove until you're ready to eat it. So I also like to add veggies into my congee, but I always like to cook it plain first and add the veggies after. And that is because I don't really like my veggies overcooked. And also, if you are going to be freezing it, I just find that it freezes a little bit better when it's plain, and then you can just add in your veggies when you take it out to thaw it or reheat it. So now that this is cooked, I'm just gonna add in some frozen corn. And if I had that frozen riced cauliflower from Costco, I would add that in at this point as well. And then you can also add other veggies such as cooked bok choy or cooked broccoli, or you can even add things such as like cooked squash or cooked sweet potato. But for those things, I like to cook them separately and then just add them in as kind of like the same way I would with the toppings. Every time I serve out a portion, I just add those cooked veggies with it and then reheat and eat. Now, while congee is a pretty plain soup, it makes up for it with the toppings. Toppings are everything. So I'm just gonna go over some of the ones we like to use. Now, some of these do have oil, so if you are oil free, you can just leave those out. I pretty much always include a fresh element such as green onions or cilantro. I also like to add pepper, either white pepper or black pepper, toasted sesame seeds or sesame oil, chili oil, Chinese pickles, preserved mushrooms, mushroom floss, or fermented tofu. If you've never tried fermented tofu before, it's quite an intense flavor and a little bit goes a long way. It's a little bit stinky when you smell it, but the taste is so good. It is like salty and creamy and adds a really nice flavor to congee. So if you do come across it, give it a try. And then I know probably like the least traditional topping we could find, but I find that this is actually a perfect complement to congee because it has salt, it has sesame seeds, and it has those crispy little onion pieces. So if you have something like this, this actually makes a really really good topping for congee. And you really only need a couple of toppings to make great congee, so don't feel like you need to use all of these. Even if you only had cilantro, green onion, and pepper, that would still be delicious. Now, if you only have cooked rice or other cooked grains, I'm going to show you the super simple method to turn it into congee. If you guys enjoyed this recipe, let me know by leaving a like down below. And with that, let's eat plants, and I will see you guys next time.